There's a reason you stopped here today, and before you scroll away, I want you to listen carefully. Maybe you came here because something inside you has felt different lately. Maybe you've been carrying a heaviness you can't explain, waking up tired, thinking too much, worrying about things you cannot control, or wondering why the same problems keep appearing in your life. You may have even asked God for a sign and then continued with your day because you didn't know what that sign would look like. But what if the sign was already on its way to you? What if this moment is not random? Out of all the videos you could have seen today, your attention stopped here. So stay for a few minutes because Archangel Michael's message today is about something you may have been feeling but haven't been able to explain. There is a season of your life that is coming to an end. And before it ends, you need to understand why certain things have been happening around you. You have experienced disappointments that made you question your future. You have watched people change. You have seen opportunities disappear. You have prayed for doors to open, only to watch them remain closed. And perhaps the hardest part has been the silence. You prayed, but nothing seemed to happen. You waited, but the situation seemed unchanged. You trusted, but the answer did not come when you expected it. And slowly a dangerous thought began entering your mind. Maybe God has forgotten me. But listen carefully. Silence doesn't mean absence. A closed door does not always mean rejection. A delay does not always mean denial. Sometimes God protects you through the very things you are asking Him to change. Sometimes the person you are begging to stay is the person God is trying to remove. Sometimes the opportunity you are desperate to receive would have taken you somewhere your soul was never meant to go. You may not understand it today, but one day you may look back and thank God for the doors He refused to open. This is where the message of Archangel Michael becomes important. Michael is traditionally recognized as a defender and protector, a symbol of courage, truth, and spiritual strength. His sword represents truth, cutting through deception, and his shield represents standing firm when fear tries to overwhelm you. And today the message is simple. Stop giving your power to fear. You have spent too much time worrying about what other people think. You have spent too much energy trying to explain yourself to people who already decided how they wanted to see you. You have replayed conversations long after they ended. You have imagined problems that haven't happened yet. You have allowed tomorrow to steal the peace that belongs to today. Michael wants you to understand that not every battle deserves your attention. Not every accusation needs a response. Not every person deserves access to your heart. Not every door needs to be reopened. There are things you must leave behind if you want to walk freely into what comes next. Maybe it is an old relationship. Maybe it is resentment. Maybe it is guilt. Maybe it is the need for approval. Maybe it is the belief that your past defines your future. Whatever it is, release it. You cannot carry everything from yesterday and still have both hands free for tomorrow. And there is something else you need to hear. The people who walked away from you did not necessarily destroy your future. Some of them may have made room for it. The rejection you experienced may have protected you from the wrong destination. The betrayal may have taught you discernment. The loneliness may have taught you how to hear your own thoughts again. The waiting may have taught you patience. The difficult season may have built strength inside you that comfort never could. You have been asking, why is this happening to me? Perhaps now it is time to ask, what is this season preparing me for? That question changes everything, because you are not the same person you were when this journey began. You have survived things that once looked impossible. You have cried and still continued. You have been disappointed and still hoped. You have been exhausted and still got up the next morning. You may not recognize it, but that is strength. And the fact that you are still here means your story is not finished. There are chapters you have not read yet. There are opportunities you haven't encountered. There are people you haven't met. There are prayers you haven't seen answered. There are versions of yourself that have not yet emerged. So do not make a permanent decision about your life based on a temporary season. If today is difficult, that does not mean tomorrow will be. If this month is painful, that does not mean the entire year will be. If one person rejected you, that does not mean you are unworthy of love. If one opportunity disappeared, that does not mean your purpose disappeared with it. God can rebuild what you thought was permanently broken. God can create a path where you cannot currently see one. And sometimes the greatest breakthrough begins with something very simple. You stop believing that everything depends on you. You were never meant to control every outcome. You were never meant to predict every tomorrow. Your responsibility is to take the next right step. Pray when you need direction. Rest when you are exhausted. Set boundaries when something repeatedly destroys your peace. Walk away when staying requires you to abandon yourself. Forgive when forgiveness brings freedom, but understand that forgiveness does not always mean returning to the same situation. You can forgive someone and still choose distance. You can love someone and still protect your peace. You can wish someone well without allowing them to continue hurting you. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. And Michael's warning today is that you must stop confusing peace with familiarity. Just because something has been in your life for years does not mean it belongs in your future. Sometimes what is familiar is exactly what is keeping you stuck. You have prayed for change, but change requires you to release what has become comfortable. So today, make a decision. Stop chasing what keeps running away from you. Stop begging for attention from people who continually make you feel invisible. Stop measuring your worth by someone else's ability to recognize it. Stop allowing fear to write stories about a future that has not happened. Instead, place your future in God's hands and take one step forward. You don't need to know the entire road. You only need enough courage for the next step. And now I want you to pause for a moment. Take a slow breath. Let your mind become quiet. If you believe in God's protection, repeat this prayer with me. God, surround me with your light and peace. Archangel Michael, stand beside me with courage and protection. Cut away every fear, lie, and attachment that pulls me away from your truth. Guide my steps and lead me into the purpose you have prepared for me. Amen. Take another breath. Let those words settle into your heart. You do not have to solve your entire life tonight. You do not have to understand everything that happened yesterday. You do not have to know exactly what tomorrow will bring. You only need to trust that the next step can be taken with faith instead of fear. And if this message reached something inside you, don't keep that moment to yourself. Type, "I am protected" in the comments. Let it be your declaration that fear will not control the next chapter of your life. If you prefer, simply type, "Amen." Someone else reading your comment may be going through the same battle you once faced, and your words may give them the courage to keep going. And if you want more messages about faith, divine timing, spiritual protection, prayer, and encouragement, subscribe and stay connected. Let this become part of your daily reminder to slow down, pray, and remember what truly matters. Before you leave, remember this. The closed door may have protected you. The delay may have prepared you. The separation may have redirected you. And the difficult season may have strengthened you. You are not forgotten. Your prayers are not meaningless. Your story is not finished. Walk into tomorrow with courage. Protect your peace. Keep your faith. And when fear tells you that nothing will ever change, remember that you have already survived every difficult day that brought you to this moment. God has carried you this far, and you do not need to see the entire path to trust the one who does. May God bring peace to your mind, strength to your heart, wisdom to your decisions, and protection over your home and family. May you have the courage to release what no longer belongs in your future and the faith to recognize what does. And may the example of Archangel Michael remind you to stand firmly in truth, walk courageously through uncertainty, and never allow darkness to convince you that your story is over. Your story is still being written. Keep going. Keep praying. Keep believing. The chapter ahead may be closer than you think.